Welcome back everyone to Welstopia, and the first thing I need to do is to solve a little bit of a mystery. And that is, why are there pigmen coming into my base? I don't know why. Yes, I know, they're probably coming in from the nether, but where are they spawning in from? Let me go and check out. Here we are in my nether tunnel, and the floor here is made of slabs and stairs, so nothing should be able to spawn onto that. And I think that, yeah, that is also slabs and stairs. The type of flooring where you're not supposed to have anything spawning whatsoever. And when I come in here, I don't tend to see pigmen around, so therefore that makes sense. This is a slab here, so no pigmen could be spawning there. I don't think you could spawn inside of a nether portal, can you? Now we do have this here where things could spawn out here, but there's an iron door there, so they shouldn't be able to get through there at all. So if anyone knows why things are spawning in there, please tell me, because unless they can spawn in the middle of a nether portal, there's no way they can get here. Since I have no idea what's going on with those zombie pigmen, I think I'll head back into the temple here and continue the work. Now, I decided that I was going to have a small room in each corner. These are the two that already existed. And I added a third one down here. And I'll be building a fourth one there. And each one, of course, is going to be associated with an element. Now, this is that prep room that I had before, and I'm going to dedicate this one to Earth. And since it's Earth, we'll of course have a lighting with a jack-o'-lantern. I was going to say wouldn't this scare the initiate, but let's face it, a little scare probably wouldn't hurt for the occasion. So I think I'll put it here instead. There we go. There, perfect. Now, hopefully this is enough light for the area. Yeah, plenty of light, good. So that's that room. Now this one will be air. So I'll grab a couple of end rods, and I'll use end rods for this place. And I'll probably have to change something to give it a more airy feel. Probably get some glass, maybe either up, some glass up there, and maybe some glass there in order to make it feel more expansive or something like that. And the main one that I've been working on is the one for water. And for a while there I was wondering, what should I do with this place? I was thinking of putting in a storage system, even though it felt a bit tight. But then of course the obvious answer came: the permanent home for my brewing station. So I took it away from where we're down there where I had it temporarily, and I put it here, and I'll have some chests here which will have the stuff that I need for it. And I also put a little small nether wart farm, and I'll be collecting my nether wart here. And I'll be placing bottles here. I have empty bottles on top and water bottles down below that, so I could have a nice supply of bottles for when I need to do brewing. And 3 of these stations are going to be dedicated to specific potions, the ones that I think I'll be using most often, and the rest of them will then go into the 4th location. And this one of course has the potions of swiftness. So at the bottom here I will have the potions, and above that I'll most likely then have the ingredients for each of the potions to make. Now, this isn't a bulk storage area, so therefore I'll be putting up shelves and then placing them on top, and that's what I'll be doing. So at the bottom I will have the potions that I need. Up on top here I'll have the ingredients. And let me get a pair of chests so that I could demonstrate this. We'll put a pair here and also a pair here. And for this one we'll be doing potions of swiftness as I showed before. And up here we'll have our ingredients, which means that for the top two rows we will have another wart. For the next rows after that we'll have sugar. And then finally after that we will have redstone. Since this the order which you add them, you put the nether wart, then the sugar, and then the redstone. So nice and in order. Then over here, this is going to be for potions of water breathing. I haven't needed them yet, but if I'm going to go against a guardian temple, then these will come in very handy for that. And for that we'll need pufferfish, which means I'll need to get a good source of pufferfish. Probably do some fishing. And then redstone for this. Now I haven't done much fishing on this server. Last season I had a AFK fish farm, but before I do any extensive AFKing, I need to light up a good deal of area. I've got many tunnels underground that I haven't found yet, which means of course they're still dark. And it would be nasty to go around AFKing and having those pop up all over the place. So I've been avoiding AFK for that reason. And also, I have not done, it was raining, I have not yet done a lighting of all of my upper level in there. So I've usually been sleeping through the night, so it won't be a problem. And of course, if I AFK, that means things pop up all over the place on top, and that won't be good. I am going to spend a nice session getting all that in order, but I want to see if I can find my fishing rod and try some fishing. I hear that rain helps make fishing better, so therefore I decided to try this. I got this fishing pole from the market. It was under their free fishing poles section. Say, if it's free, what's wrong with it? Well, it's certainly better than any of the rods I had before. But this one is Luck of the Sea 2 and Mending and Lure 2. Yes, not optimal, but as I said, it was free. But of course, it also has Curse of Vanishing. So that means I need to make sure I don't get killed when I have this thing on. As long as I'm reasonably safe. Alright, that was a false alarm, I guess. As long as I'm reasonably safe, then I should be able to maintain this. But of course, if I stay here at night, then I'll most likely get killed, and then when I get killed, I'll lose the fishing pole, and probably a lot of other stuff also. So therefore, yeah. Until I have a safe fishing farm and all that stuff, I obviously don't want to go around in this and tempting fate on it. And of course, maybe sometime I'll fish up a better pole at the end. Now, concerning AFK fishing, as I said, I'm going to avoid that until, what have I got so far? Well, I'm getting salmon. That's also pulled out a mending fishing pole, apparently. Okay. And that's one thing that I can do. If I grab a permanent pole to replace this, just in case this does vanish, then all the better. But anyway, I don't think you want to see me fishing for the next half hour, so therefore, I'll be back. I didn't get any pufferfish, but I did get a Power 4 bow. And since my current bow is Power 4 Unbreaking 2, I might as well just put them together. The Power 5 bow. That'll help there. So maybe someday I'll actually have a decent bow out of that. It stopped raining, and after the last scene I got 2 pufferfish, so now I have some pufferfish. I also got a luck of the sea 2 and mending fishing rod. Of course I won't be combining it with my current one because Curse of Vanishing. I'd like to get one that doesn't have that on there. I also got a bottle of water which could come in handy, and I always forget what you could do with clownfish. Maybe it's there just to tease us. I made a couple of adjustments inside here, and the main thing here is that I decided to move the water bottles down to here. Right now it's empty, but I figured putting the bottles near the water would be the best thing to do there. And I moved here for my miscellaneous items. I have to get this second row all more neat or something like that as soon as I figure out what to do, and make some glistening melons is what the goal is for that stuff right there, so I could have something for as many potions as possible. I did make a few water breathing potions since I got my pufferfish in there. I managed to get a few more of those. 45 seconds regeneration, and I presume that if I'm right, that will lengthen that up a little bit. So that's going well enough. And over here then, I have created a chamber for fire. And I figured that open fires would not be a good idea for this particular room right here. So therefore I put in a couple of torches, since torches also represented by fire. This is the usual thing for coal and items for my furnace, obviously, but the idea there then is to have my auto smelter there instead of up there in a random spot. And I presume I'll probably just wall that off so I don't see the top there. So that takes care of this part of the area. Now for what I do with this. I still haven't decided where I'm going to move this. I'm thinking of just moving it down here, of having a side room for both. One of the side rooms could be the storage area, and the other side room, well, can be something that I will determine later, though I do have to take into account that I have a cave here, but I might be able to use that to my advantage in the end. And there's somebody killing withers. Lots, and I've heard at least 12 wither signals since I logged on today. So somebody's killing them quite like clockwork. So let me clear this out and see if I have something that is suitable for a warehouse down here. Hopefully it's bigger than what I've got up there, because I suspect that in the long run I am going to need something a little bit bigger. On second thought, I think a better idea would be first to build my stairway down into the dungeon. Now, as I said before, I'm going to loosely base this on the classic dungeon, the Temple of Elemental Evil. And therefore, I'm going to have a stairway on each end, and it's going to go downstairs into a dungeon level, and that is going to give the backbone for the dungeon that I'm going to be building. I plan to have 8 to 10 blocks between levels. Hopefully that will be enough to avoid interference. And I think altogether that should go a significant way down below. I figured if I have that done and I know where to put the stairs, then it'll be easier to put whatever other side rooms I want. Now, I realized that in the original dungeon, the stairs went down in a diagonal. And that's not really feasible in Minecraft. So therefore, I'm going to do what they did in DDO and that was to make the stairways go off at right angles to the entrance, so that more fits into what they can do, and that will also fit into how things with Minecraft. I think you'll find that there'll be a couple of decisions that I'll make that will look closer to the DDO implementation than to the original classic one, but DDO stuck pretty close to the classic, except where their engine could potentially have issues. So therefore, since I'm working with Minecraft, which has its own issues engine-wise, I think that will work out quite well. What I want to do is I want to make sure that I have 3 overhead all the way down, because eventually, of course, I'm going to be putting down stairs in order to make it safer. Let's get cracking. I've dug halfway down, and I replaced some of the water with andesite. I'll do a little bit more of that. But what I wanted to do here was to test out the type of stairs I would use. I was thinking of using my usual trick of spruce and birch, but I thought I would try a little experiment here, and if it doesn't work out, then I could always go back to the spruce and birch version. And the idea here was to use nether brick and stone brick and see how it looks. The idea is to have something light and something dark, and I figure that should be able to do nicely. Good. Actually, that looks better than I was expecting. I think I may actually go with this. I was expecting to say black and tear it down immediately, but I think it survived that little test at least. I figure we can go about here. And that way I have something that's a little bit more durable. I may even change the outside stairs for that, since that's going to be in the elements. It's definitely a candidate for it. But I could see also the argument for using spruce, simply because there is going to be the spruce element here, so to speak. And therefore we will just do a little bit of this and see how this works, because there is going to be a little bit of turnaround, and it's going to go the other way, because right now the two ends are too far apart. So I want to go down, turn, go down a little bit more, and then go straight, and that's what's going to lead me into the actual dungeon itself. And I could just do that and put it there. So therefore I've got a couple more like that, couple more like that. Good. And then I guess this is a good place to turn around. I just want to make sure that didn't interfere with itself. You don't want things to get too nasty down there. Well, at least not nasty from the point of view of having trouble with the stairs. I'm sure there'll be plenty of nasty things here once I get the dungeon built. And there you have it. I'm down here, and now I could just continue down tunneling and build the item on the other end. And if things are done right, they will eventually meet in the middle. As things will have it, I need to have some 18 blocks in between each of the ends I make, for the corridors where I make. So therefore, I'll need to find the center of it, and then from there, once I have the center, know where to put my main corridors, I think I'll be able to build everything for the dungeon. Now, concerning scaling, the original map is scaled at 1 square equals 10 feet. So I'm going to treat that as 1 square equals 3 meters, because 3 meters and 10 feet are pretty close to the same value. And I think it's so close that trying to convert to any exact units or anything like that is going to do 10 times more harm than good to it. So therefore, I am going to treat each square on the original map as being 3 meters or 3 blocks within Minecraft. I now have my potions of regeneration. So I have potions of regeneration, water breathing, and swiftness. I have another potion that I'll be putting here. I am considering these to be an uncommon one, so therefore this is the chest that will hold several potions in it. I'll put a third common one here. I'll try to gather the nether wart I need, the redstone I need, which is putting the redstone, gunpowder, and glowstone into there. And try to get my stock up, start to get my various potions. Swiftness I'm still going to favor because I need swiftness potions. When I'm building things, I might need to go underwater a bit because there will be probably a water section, so that's when the potions of water breathing may come in handy. And overall, I am starting to get things set up for my potion brewing. So I'll probably gather some materials for that. Get the other side of the stairs down to here. Form my backbone for my dungeon so that I can be ready to start on that. And perhaps do a little bit of sleeping to make sure that mobs don't spawn all over the place in here, because Endermen tend to pop in here when it's night because they just teleport all over the place. But that's all I have time for, and until next time, this is Pineleaf Needles reminding you to build responsibly.